My name is Drew Holman. I'm one of the co-founders of Back to the Mother Microbrewed Kombucha, and I'm very excited to have this opportunity to speak with you today. Very grateful for CFAC for navigating all the hurdles of getting this on an online platform. So special thanks to all you guys. So let's just dive right in. So our organization originally started as a nonprofit focused on economic development. And so we took a long time to kind of check the field of what alternative models for developing a business were out there. And so we settled on becoming a support system for worker-owned cooperatives. Being a worker owner means that you're both the CEO and the janitor of your business. And it allows the people doing the work to make the decisions about how the work is to be done. So it provides an open platform, one voice, one vote, and an equal share of the company. So the nonprofit set up a set of values and a vision statement for which would become the backbone of any of the cooperatives that we were going to foster underneath the Back to the Mother brand. Because of our interest in fermentation and living foods and how they bring vitality to our bodies, the first cooperative that we launched was the Kombucha Circle of our organization. So with that, I'd like to introduce to you the brew crew. So top left, we have Ben Herrick, and he's in charge of all of our brewing, and he also does the juicing and pasteurization of our flavors. Justin Drucker on the right side of the screen, he does all of our deliveries, and he makes sure that all of our empty bottles get back to our facility or to Bayern directly. I take care of all of our marketing materials. I do all of our accounting and was the originator of the project back in 2014. We also have a wonderful friend, Josh Davis. He sits on our board as a non-voting member. And so he has an expertise in the fields of worker-owned cooperatives. He works for a website and manages the content for an organization called Grassroots Economic Organizing. And feel free to drop that into the chat, Josh, if you like. Yeah, so he sits on our board and is a great mediator. And whenever our board gets to a point where we can't get past any hurdles that we're coming up against, he links us up to experts in the field in his network, and they support us greatly in being able to navigate what it is to, for us as a small business, and none of us are traditional business owners, so it helps a lot to have this guidance. So in November of 2017, we hit the shelves with our first 6 flavors. Since then, we've been able to expand into 2 distributors, and we've also gotten into more than 35 locations across Montana. We were the first bottled kombucha in Montana and continue to be the most widely distributed brand locally from Montana. So what is kombucha? For those of you who don't know, kombucha is a symbiotic colony of yeast and bacteria. These microorganisms live together and break down the teas and the sugars and create from them antioxidants, organic acids, and enzymes that help us get more nutrition out of the food that we eat. And most of their beneficial qualities of kombucha come from the fact that it's a gentle detox of the body. It allows our bodies to pass through toxins that typically build up over time. So because of the values set forth from the nonprofit circle of our organization, we are dedicated to the highest degree of maintaining a small carbon footprint as a business. Because of that, we sought out working with Bayern Brewery in their Eco League. So because they have the infrastructure here in Missoula to wash glass, we wanted to make sure that we did our best to be a part of their program so that our offering to the public wasn't in a package that was just going to be thrown away. So your standard brown 12-ounce bottle can be used up to 35 times before needing to be crushed and reused again. So we have a huge opportunity with Bayern to keep a valuable resource out of the landfill and cycling through our communities, and yeah, just lightening our personal impact on our landfill. Let's see, so we have a picture of Bayern's washing machine here, and then these are the Eco League packs. Oops. Go back one. I think I lost control here. Yeah, so this is Bayern's washing machine and the boxes that we exchange our bottles to and from our facilities in. Go to the next slide. So in 2019, the kombucha market across the United States hit over $1 billion in sales and is expected to almost double in the next 3 years. So our intentions are to capture a fair share of this market, keeping more of this money in Montana and building our local economy while we push towards our goals. So we have no intentions of ever becoming a national brand. Instead, we're only planning on expanding our brew and our sales in places that have the infrastructure to wash glass, because it's not a mindful business practice for us to expand in a way that we know they're not going to be able to handle the glass the same way that we can here locally. Instead, our intentions are to expand into other ferments. We want to buy the property that we're to be able to grow our own food, and most of the botanicals and the fruits that we currently use in our beverage. We'll move to the next slide. Maybe, I don't know if I have control or not. Cool. So our long-term goals, include acquiring land to grow most of our fruits and botanicals that we are currently using in our beverage. We want to develop other lines of ferments and create opportunities for intentional living. So we also have other worker-owned cooperatives that we want to develop with different teams, and those are centered around year-round farming, that are expanding the farming season for us in Montana, waste stream management, myco-remediation, and off-grid alternative building construction. And so I'd love to talk about all of our passions, but we're going to just stick to the Kombucha Project for now. If you want to go to our website to learn more or reach out to me personally, I'd love to talk about any of those projects in further detail. Next slide. So these are our first flavors that we hit the shelves with back in November of 2017. And since then, we've developed 4 seasonals. And so our seasonals start in spring with with coconut lemongrass lime. Our summer flavor is watermelon rhubarb. We have our pumpkin spice to come in at the fall, and we follow through winter with apple pie. Next slide. So, most of our ingredients currently come from the northwestern states of our country. We source our ingredients as locally, organically, and as fair trade as we can get them. And we're looking forward to being able to source more of our berries from the Bitterroot Valley as the next couple of years emerge. Right now, this last year, we got our rhubarb for our summer seasonal, and that came from Hot Springs, Montana, from a very small farmer up there. So we were stoked to support their economy. And then this hops vine is actually one that I have access to in the place that I rent currently. So we're stoked to have access to that. And I have the pineapple showing here because we're never gonna use flavors that we have to truck tropical fruit from far off places. But we actually grew this pineapple, and we did a limited release, and we're gonna continue to do so. We're gonna continue growing more and more pineapples. This plant right here on my screen to my left is a baby pineapple plant. And so we're gonna be doing that as a limited release as those plants fruit, just for fun. Next slide. So 2 of the other companies that we work with are Yerba Montana and Lake Missoula Tea Company. You can see a profile there of the farm that we support through Lake Missoula Tea Company. And the biggest thing is that these 2 companies, we have the same values. So we know the importance of working with fair trade, and we all know that it's really easy to take advantage of somebody on the other side of the planet by simply swiping your credit card. So for us, it's really important to be mindful of where we're spending our money and who we're supporting when we can't get things locally in our own region. And so working with fair trade farms, it means not only getting a fair wage for the workers, but they also strive to provide healthcare and education for their families. Next slide. So another farm that we're very excited to work with, and we're announcing for the very first time tonight, is that we're working with Mother Fungi, formerly known as Front Street Fungi. You might recognize this guy from last year's Pitch Fest, William Gregg. And so we are excited to announce that we're developing a line of mushroom kombucha tonics, where we bring the powerful medicinal qualities of mushrooms to our living beverage. And our next slide. Our first flavor is going to be Lion's Mane Lemon Cayenne. So this is our label in development. You can see some cross-pollinating marketing, where we have our same synergistic names all together. We're very excited about how well that worked together. Next slide. And so you already know that our bottles come from the waste stream, but we also source our 6-pack carriers and our cardboard cases from the waste stream as well. So the cases that we deliver to our grocery stores all come from KL Distribution through the Good Food Store. So we have a system with them where they collect them for us, and we reuse them before they hit the recycling station. Next slide. So we've dedicated ourselves to being the cosmic cheerleaders of the Eco League, and so I want to tell you a little bit more about that program. You can read on here the list of places that you can take glass to. You can read on here what the requirements are for glass coming back to Byron directly. We've worked very hard to develop more places that you can drop glass off to, because participation is the biggest thing. To get people to actually participate in bringing glass back, that it's all up to our customers to actually get involved in that process if we really are going to have an impact on our landfill. So with that, we have several accounts that serve our product in-house, so at restaurants and breweries. So places like Draftworks, Kettle House Brewing, Highlander Brewing, Market on Front, Basil, and Tia's, as well as the Art Bar and the Mercantile. So all these locations, we're shouting them out today because collectively they've been able to help us keep over 10,000 bottles out of our landfill. So we're really excited to keep that going, and we just want to give a little shout out to them for the help in doing that. Next slide. So next, I want to get into what this loan actually means for us. So we've been accepted to be a part of Missoula's original farmers market. We already have acquired our booth, and so we're looking at developing our marketing banners and being able to afford everything we need for our booth this year. This is our first chance to sell directly to our customers and to engage in the community where people enjoy our product the most. So this is a huge opportunity for us to gain exposure and just to step into a new market. So these are all the things that we're looking to afford in that. And yeah, so with that, we're also looking to afford everything we need to speed up our bottling process. Right now, every bottle, every cap, every label is hand filled, pressed, and placed. You can even see that we used to, in the middle picture, 2 pictures, we used to print and cut out our labels one at a time. So if you think about 600 to 800 bottles a batch, how long that would take. Yeah, so we're looking at getting a bottle filler. It's going to help us fill bottles from 1 to 4 at a time. And then a labeler to take out some of the nuance of human error in that process. And we're also looking to double our refrigeration size so that we can bring on new flavors and possibly new ferments in the near future. I want you to know that we've thought long and hard about our ask on this loan, and we put together a budget that's going to help us mindfully grow our company and not grow too quickly, and be able to make the right decisions at the right time to really expand our business. We spent the last 2 years putting 99% of all the revenue from the business back into investing back into the company itself. And because of that, all the worker owners have had to maintain outside income to support ourselves as we continue working towards our startup. So this loan is really going to help us expand our sales and lean in towards our goals of being able to afford just a simple wage of $15 an hour and hopefully some healthcare services. So that's our goal to provide to the worker owners. Because of Kiva's loan guidelines, they were able to give us a loan of $8,500. Our budget needs, however, go right up to the $10,000. So because of this gap, we have an opportunity through our fiscal sponsor for tax deductible donations. And you can follow the links here at the bottom of the page. Josh is also going to drop them into the chat real quick. So you can follow those links to see, just to follow those if you are able to support us in that way. And much gratitude to anybody that feels called to support our small business. Next slide. So this is our contact information if you want to get a hold of us for anything. This is a good reminder too to join the CFAC lending team if you are going to lend tonight. And don't be shy on the internet. Feel free to reach out towards our social endeavors. And then last slide, just thank you so much for this opportunity. We're really grateful to have your audience and to connect with all of you today. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Drew.